Yeah. I don't know why when I'm broadcasting from the app, I don't know why I can't type in the comments. Free cipher up. Don Bishop, True Self. Shit right there. Yeah, we going early today. I got some stuff I gotta take care of. It's the season, it's coming crunch time. We're gonna be celebrating Justice's born day on the 31st. That's Saturday. And then, we got the show and proof coming right up. So, it's kind of a busy season for me. Got to get things started. Got some preparations to make. But what's going on out there? Julie TV. What's the deal out there with you? Shit crazy. I had this topic, love and teachable moments. Remy Ma, Papoose, we'll get to them later right now. Let's all right, Julie TV. Didn't know that. A little bit of history. Yeah, black love, that's a certain science. But in particular with this, what I'm gonna be talking about with love is, love amongst the 5%, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we skipping the love and going right to the hell with each other, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into that, man. Because that's one of the things, man. Dealing with the teachable moment. Because this is an example of what I see as a teachable moment. Right? It's now, what we could draw up. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, you gotta ask yourself that, look, it's a lot of illusions out there, right? How many of them did you fall for? It's not just not falling a victim to Christianity. You know what I'm saying? You said I literally did a video of a random Spanish dude and I showed him love by giving him the knowledge of himself, and he thanked me. And look, that's peace too. Right? But we live in amongst each other. And so there's that part. Where it's like, you give somebody the knowledge, that's a communication thing. But I'm talking about and this is just an example, but see, look, And look, I know you're the type of person to do that, but I'm just saying the question is, would you give them half of your sandwich? You know what I'm saying? Would you, the big thing is, uh, how much understanding do you have for this person? See, that's the science of that, man, is that, listen, there's gotta be a stand down. There's gotta be a stand down on some of this bickering that's going on the internet, because see, you can see that, when people see that, then they try to drive a wedge in that. They try to drive a wedge in that and infiltrate. You know what I'm saying? We can't, if there's a way that you can help your brother to not be the weak link, you know what I'm saying? Would you help him, or would you just say, yeah, man, you fucked up. You know what I mean? Fuck him. You see what I'm saying? To the point where, see, when you keep up that bickering, see what's happening is factions is being developed. You got the faction of people that say 5%. You got the faction of people that say NGE. You got the faction of people that got refinement in mathematics. The faction of people that don't got refinement in mathematics. And see, these things is becoming ideas. And the idea is really that's gang like. That's not for us. You have beef with this person because of the idea. Like, you never seen this person before in your life. This person never did nothing to you, never said nothing to you. But the idea that, they represent that block over there, right? And that block over there, there's just an idea that you was raised with that they're the enemy. And so now, that's what you're reacting to. You're not weighing and judging the person. Right? If you just saying, oh man, this person said NGE, and now you're not weighing and judging nothing. If this person would give their life for you, right? But now they said NGE, so you know what I'm saying? Because, even to the degree that, see, a lot of this, it's like, the brothers in prison, they talk about the cell gangster. See, on the internet, you got cell phone gangsters. See, when they talk about the cell gangsters, these is people that they be in a cell talking all this, but they never come in the yard. You know what I'm saying? Like, in some of these arguments that's happening online, I see people that I know. And they nothing like how they be talking on the internet. So, at the very least, right, if you got all those issues or whatever that you do feel like you need to discuss, talk about it in person at least. That's not equality. For you to, you saying this, right, in a condition where the person can't really respond to you. That's not something that we should be doing amongst ourselves. So, we don't give orders. Right? I'm not the boss. But I'm saying everybody needs to stand down. You know what I'm saying? You know, me personally, if I see it, you know, I'm gonna have to say something about it. Because, you know, like I said, you know, you got the knowledge and the wisdom, but you also got understanding and culture. So see, you can have all this knowledge and wisdom, right? See, we 5%, we got the power. Now, what you gonna use your power for? See, and then, you know, look, love is the highest elevation of understanding, right? You know what I'm saying? Our brother, Universal, he used to have a saying that he used to always say, it's better to understand than to be understood. It's better to have understanding than to be understood. See, right now, that's not occurring. And see, you're not going to be able to tell. See, that's the thing about being on point. See, being on point means that, you know, you write an exact before it happens. So see, people could go through trying to live this out, right, without the love, and then something happens, something jumps off. And now you got factions, you know what I mean? You got this 30% of people that say this, right? And something happened to this other 28% of the people over there that say that, right? And then it's like, yeah, but you know, they not the real gods. See, that's the type of thing that happens, man, when you start forming these factions. You know what I mean? When we start forgetting the basics, you know what I'm saying, that one is respect. You know what I'm saying? When we start forgetting the basics that, listen, if we start out talking about something in mathematics, right? And then it proceeds to, you know, talking about people's sexuality and all of this, you know, some of the stuff that I see, you know, that I hear about, right? Then how infinite was your mathematics? How infinite was your mathematics if the discussion is something about mathematics and it goes into that? So these are the type of things that's saying, you know, look, you can't destroy something in order to save it. So everybody thinks that, you know, whatever knowledge they got, whatever the person that taught them told them, you know, this is the true knowledge. So let me tell you something about that stuff. That stuff that they trying to do, that's hadith. See, hadith, right? That's when you're a leader, teacher, and guide, right? You're a master, the master speaker from on high, right? Gives the wisdom that everybody's supposed to have, or you're not writing exact. That's not the way. Culture is not like that. See, culture is something that develops from all the people that got that common cause. You see what I'm saying? So for instance, language is culture, right? But in, you know, different, in America, you got different accents. Where, you know, you could tell where people is from, for the most part, from how they speak. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, other languages, you know, Chinese, you got Sichuan and Cantonese, See, that's the way things naturally work. You see what I'm saying? Like if you got an apple tree, right? Then all the apples on that tree came from the same seed, the same root, the same, they could be on the same branch, but one might be a little more red than the other one. One might be a little bit smaller. One might have a little more seeds. One might taste a little more sweeter. One might taste a little more sour. But they all came from the same root. And see, that's not being recognized. That's not being recognized in these various bickering that's going on. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I guess, look, this is I guess it sounds funny, but look, I'm bickering with the bickering. You know what I'm saying? Because look, I was there, you know, but it wasn't escalating to this level, you know, for one, because we was face to face. But you know, look, that was one of the reasons that the guy used to tell us that, right? You know, we in the hallway and, you know, we going at it. You sure the brother come out there and say, you know, look, it's better to have understanding than be understood. Yeah, God, you're not right exact though, God. You gotta get right. You know, the way we want it, listen, as soon as you go back in the auditorium, we're gonna get it. I didn't fully understand all of the, you know, the possibilities that could come from that. So, you know, I mean, you know, black love, you know what I'm saying, the relationship and all of that, right? The relationship, but I'm talking about just, you know, this brotherly love. You know what I'm saying? Just you know, that we, you know, that we all we got. You see what I'm saying? You know, another place a lot of that bickering comes from is you trying to teach the civilized. You're supposed to be trying to teach he who is savage civilization. How you gonna teach somebody that already got civilization? You know, that was another thing that we literally was told, you know, that, you know, we going back and forth, and the brother said, listen, man, y'all need to separate. Because right now, all of y'all got all this energy and this understanding built up, and y'all sitting here wasting it on each other. Like if you did half as much, if you use half as much words that you use to be bickering with people, right, to be building, most of your questions would be answered. So, you know, we kind of went out of order there, but that was the perspective that I was coming from with, you know, us understanding that, you know, the how we continue daily to live amongst each other, right, and our equality that we continue to have amongst each other, right, understand and understood, right, you know, how that is, you know, how that is also important. You see what I'm saying? See, like I said, you know, you got actions and you got ways. You know, the action is the what. The way is the how. So see, I could talk to a person and you could talk to a person. But the way I spoke to them was respectfully, and the way you spoke to them was disrespectful. See, I could be in a nation dealing with brothers and sisters, and you could be in a nation dealing with brothers and sisters. But the way I deal with them is with supreme equality. And the way that you deal with it is limited. Nobody wants to fuck with you. That's your limitation. Somebody deals with you one time, and then that's it. Like, yeah, I don't build that, bro. See, that type of stuff develops, and then the next thing you know, we can't move forward with different things, right? Because see now, look, you know, being this person, you know, it's not just that it's no love, it's you know, animosity there, right? So now that person comes up with a good idea, right? That person comes up with a righteous idea, but I'm against it, not because of the idea, but because of this idea that me and this person is rivals. See, regardless to whom or what, you know, when we looking at the lessons, you know, and this is the other part, right, with the living out mathematics. See, mathematics is how you make an idea come into existence. From knowledge to born. You know what I mean? As you know, and this is what we do. This is, you know, living out mathematics. Now, when we look at the lessons, what we see is evidence of how mathematics has been lived out in the past. But see, within the lessons, what it tells you, you got to renew history and not repeat history. So we're not repeating everything that we read in the lessons. We're using mathematics to draw it up, to see the different ideas, right, that we're going to live out so that we can make things be born alive. See, that also moves into the teachable moment. What I was saying is that, look, I saw some people get caught for the okie doke. When you in the comments, you like, peace, peace, peace. See, you wasn't really using the mathematics, right? You wasn't using the mathematics. See, it's a difference between speaking it, right, and actually living it. See, look, people that had the knowledge for long enough, right, and if they honest with themselves, right, they can tell you that, listen, at first, I had to take some things on face value. But see, over time, as you live it out, right, it don't even matter what somebody told me. It doesn't matter what anybody ever told me about supreme mathematics because I've been living it out for decades. See, in order to not take things on face value, you got to examine. It takes time to examine. So at first, yeah, you examining these words that you get, right? and it says that the black man is God. But see, if you living this out, over time you begin to have examples. You like, yo, man, I manifested this, and then that happened. But yo, everybody else got caught up in this, but I rose above it because I seen what was going on, right? Because I have the proper knowledge of myself. See, I knew what to do and what not to do because I know who I am, and I knew that, yeah, I don't do that. Doing that wouldn't fit in the description. It wouldn't fit in the description of who I identify myself as. See, that's the thing to see right there. Is that how, people is doing things and they doing this is a brand new example. But we can see that, oh yeah, this mathematics right here has been lived out before. And see, if that history was fucked up, I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to renew it. And see, regardless, you got to renew it anyway, because you know what? That happened at that place, at that time, with those individuals. In order to make that apply in this place, at this time, to the individuals that's dealing with whatever situations, you got to renew that. Other than that, you just taking it on face value. See, there's a, they brother used to say there was a difference between show and tell and show and prove. See, anybody can speak it. And when I say speak it, right, I don't mean that just when anybody speaks it, it's not wisdom. That's what I mean when I say anybody can speak it. Yeah, anybody can memorize it. Anybody can quote it. But everybody can't draw it up. Everybody don't study it. They memorize it, right? Some people had it. We seen evidence of that. There's some people that had it for decades, right? And never studied it. So you got to look at that science, right? In the 16th degree. I would think probably most people on this channel, right? You know what I'm saying? We started out with somebody showing us the way, right? Young 5%. But see, some people grow up to be otherwise. They grow up to live out something else. See, as the rest of the lessons go on, right? You don't really hear no more about religion. You start hearing about what Allah and what God is going to do, right? See, only certain people reach up to that level of knowledge in God. These people that start out with us, look, they're gonna become Muslims and Muslim saints, you know, and you know, otherwise in general, they don't tell you what the duty, they don't tell you what the duty of a Muslim saint is. Shout out to Akusili Bandele. I think that's how you say it. That's who came up with that topic about living out mathematics. Because see, here's the thing you gotta understand to keep in perspective. Here's the thing you gotta understand to keep in perspective, right? That look, well, not you gotta understand, but this is something to keep in perspective. See, a lot of all this bullshit that's been going on around us, man, right? All this bullshit that's been going on around us, everything everybody was talking about on the internet. Listen, the summertime is coming. And I'm sure y'all know, like I know, right, that every summer there's a high potential for us to lose a lot of our youth, man. They start taking them pills and drinking that stuff. What you call that stuff? The stuff that be in the styrofoam cup. You got violence out here. Some of them could lose their life, end up in a penitentiary. And see, we supposed to be manifesting things. We supposed to be manifesting things so that they can survive and thrive, man. We ain't supposed to be bickering with people, man. Like if you're not sure about what you know, then go bicker with people. But don't bicker here. Go bicker with the other religious people and see if you want to be with them. But we not, you know, how that, I don't even know where that came from. But I've been hearing that the whole time I had the knowledge, right? It's that we not the authors of confusion, man. But you know, y'all see we came on early, so we're not gonna be able to go too long. So let me ask if we got any questions. The people that's new to you, if you're new to the channel, you don't understand. Yeah, I don't know these people. But I have to start asking if it's any last questions early. You know, I think that's good for my rant. You know, but just remember, like I said, man, stand down on the bickering. No bickering with, you know, all this, you know, like I said, if you want to build with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of people, you bicker with people you ain't never gonna see. That ain't never gonna have an impact on you or the stuff that's going on around you and what you gotta do. So, you know, look, even if somebody's talking crazy to you, You gotta have that level of understanding. And look, I'm gonna tell y'all something for the record. Let me add this on. Right? Let me add this on. Right? Me and Trueborn Mala, right? We was the last two people that left here yesterday. And so we agreed that everybody needs to stand down. So he's gonna be talking to you know, some of his many fruit out there and letting them know that, look, we all standing down. We all standing down because that's causing us to be something that it never was. Is that it? We don't have any questions today? Did I come on too early? See, I told y'all, when you have questions, you gotta write it down, like put a memo on your phone or something. Cause you know what happens, people now you wanna come with the questions when I'm busy. But you know, I like to think, my personal opinion of myself is that, when I build, yeah, show and prove is not a place to show up and meet and be. Yeah, that's right. You got people that do that. Yeah, I'll meet you at the show and prove. Nah, don't be here. See, first of all, if you really want to fight, let me tell you what you do. Go down to St. Nick, right? If we at the show and prove, so we're gonna be a little bit up, right? But go up the hill. It's like some trees and bushes, right? Go behind the trees and bushes, rock out, right? If the police come, tell them that y'all in the same martial arts class and y'all was just sparring. Y'all play like that. But see, don't come to the show and prove where you know everybody's gonna break it up. Where you know that everybody's gonna say, look, God, this ain't the time or the place. Now go, if you wanna fight, right? Suit up and go up and just look. If the police come, just don't nobody tell on nobody. Hold on for a second. Yeah, GD, look, let's not characterize, right? We're not gonna, look, we're gonna deal with the solution. You understand what I'm saying? Look, we gotta show and prove what we saying. right? We're talking all this about being one mind and, Allah is one. You understand what I'm saying? But, for any individual it is, right? You got, various brothers that they've returned over the years, right? And then it's like, when me and certain brothers that, we might have had a particular relationship with that person, right? When we come together, you see that person. You understand what I'm saying? We start manifesting about all the things that we learned from that person. You know what I'm saying? All the ways in which that person used to move. You know what I'm saying? All of their teachings, extend, to the time when we manifest it. Whatever time that is, whether or not that person existed physically to that time or not. The teachings existed to it. You see what I'm saying? And that's my point, guys. Look, we can't have enemies inside the 5%. It's just, look, that's not Allah's teachings. If we're going to do that, go someplace else. Hey, look, GD, I understand. See, even with that, listen, let me tell you something that happened. Yesterday, we was there with some older brothers. You know what I'm saying? We was there with some older brothers, right? And the topic came up, right? And me or True Born had never heard, a brother came out and manifested something about the topic, and it was one of these controversial topics. And we never heard this before. So see, a lot of people, they just talking out their ass anyway. They don't know what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all not coming together and saying, well, look, I was building with the guy such and such, and he told me this. You know what I mean? Then you said, well, yeah, I was building with the guy such and such. Like, look, sometimes me and Robbie do that. We'd be like, yo, God, what did Pete tell you about this? Yeah, because he told me this. Or sometimes I might be telling a story about something that occurred, right? But it'll be a part of the story that I didn't know. Like, that didn't happen when I was there. And then Robbie would be like, oh yeah, this. I'll be like, oh, now it makes sense. So just saying that, if we're going to be having enemies and stuff, then that's not Allah's teachings. You might as well go and found your nation that could be based on that. You know what I'm saying? But this nation is based on love. Would you say that our nation might or could possibly have interlopers? Of course. They've been here the whole time though. See, let me tell you something. These people reveal themselves. They reveal themselves. And see, all you got to do is not fall a victim. I was watching this show one time. It was a nature show. I was thinking about that the other day. See, that's one difference between me and Prince. Prince, his best friends was animals. He liked them all around him. He lived in his house. Yes, I mean, see me, right? I like animals on TV.
Peace, God.
Peace.
Peace to the God. Peace. Y'all came to see God about getting the history to the flag. What's the God that the building and all that? Mathematics?
I guess so.
You know mathematics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He know you was coming?
Yeah, but why yourself? I just got off work. I went to the parliament yesterday. And I got to do some history to the flag.
So he said he was gonna meet you here?
Yeah, what's the God they get about to do the classes? I think I was introduced to him when I was at the parliament.
What do you look like?
Man, I can't really say good. The God. I ain't really seen him that good. And what I'm saying is at the parliament, when I went to the parliament yesterday, got a pawn shop, it's all right. Went to the parliament yesterday, and I seen ABGLR, justice and all that. So I was kind of rusty.
Justice Born?
Huh?
Talking about Justice Born?
Yeah, I was kind of rusty about the history of the flag. So they told me they were gonna give me the history of the flag. So I could, study the flag a little, history of the flag again. Cause I still don't, my degrees and everything like they said. But working and all kind of things was kind of a little rusty. So they said, well, come here, we'll get the class to go and get a lot of classes. I just got off of work,
So, well, when you got the knowledge?
I got the knowledge in wisdom born, God, culture, freedom, God.
Knowledge born, God, culture, freedom.
Huh?
You said wisdom born,
I mean,
God.
knowledge born, culture, freedom,
Right.
I've been through some stuff, man, trying to get housing, trying to get myself together, all this type of thing, trying to get a job.
So you know who made the flag?
Allah Shasha.
No. Universal Sham God.
Yeah, damn, you right. You right about that.
So you know what year he drew up the flag?
No, God, but I would, I would say, knowledge born, equality God.
I can see why you say that, but it was actually 1966.
Okay.
And but at the time, the law was in Madawan, so they wasn't able to get the picture of the flag to him.
Right.
So when he got out in 1967 is when he was presented with the gift of the flag.
All right, yeah. So I gotta bring the knowledge back to a degree, because I still know mathematics and cadence, but I was aware of doing different things. I ain't in tune with building, spontaneous like that. Like I know, the supreme alphabet, the supreme, the mathematics, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, freedom, power, refinement, equality, God, build it, destroy, born, knowledge, as cipher. The supreme alphabet, A is for law, B is for born, C is for seed, D is for divine, E is for equality, F is for father, G is for God, H is for he or her, I for I, Islam. J is for justice. K is for king and kingdom. L is for love, hell, and right. M is for master. N is for now, nation, or N. P is for power. Q is for Q. Yeah. I want to say Q is for queen, but it's not that. I know it's not that.
That's what it is.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, Q, P, Q, take your element on P, Q. R is for ruler. S is for self and savior. T is for truth to square. U is for you, universe. V is for victory. W is for why, the question most asked by all 85% of non-believers. And Z is for zigzag, zig, not the wisdom understanding. And so I had like mental problems, not so much as psychological problems, but dealing with health issues, strokes and all that kind of thing. So I'm just trying to get back, but I can
So
get back.
what you gotta do, right, is you gotta put it back into activation. See, it's one of the things where it's like, look, see, you know, once you already had the knowledge, you always got it. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of you put it into activation. You see what I'm saying? So like you said, like, yeah, you know, just being able to respond to questions, you know, that's a matter of, you know what I'm saying, you being in the midst where, you know what I'm saying, you constantly using this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? When you constantly using this knowledge, then you're gonna have a better grasp of it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's really, you know, I could call the brother for you. You know what I'm saying? And see if he's on his way over. I'm sure he probably got a particular, you know, breakdown for you or whatever, the history. You know what I mean? You know, other than that, this is the civilization class. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, we had a topic that we was already dealing with. You know, but you know, a lot of those things that you're talking about, that's you know, you gotta study. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of you study it. It's really like nothing.
Yeah, it's just really, you know, coming home, man, coming to disciples and, you know, participate, coming to show proofs, all that thing, and just, you know, be around. But actually, for a while, I wasn't even in now why. You know what I'm saying? I had to go to Baltimore and other places, you know, to try to get my act together, come from like homelessness and all kind of thing, and making sure I get my veteran benefits and all kind of thing of that nature, go. But you know, I want to, you know, come home and try to like, you know, contribute, participate, you know, things like that, because I just really like did that not because I was dealing with any negativity. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't gamble, none of that kind of thing. It's just that in order to not be involved in the you know, prison system, it's like, yo, man, I gotta establish myself. You know what I mean? I gotta like, cause I don't know if you're familiar with it, but a lot of people know how them shelters is. The shelters, they don't do nothing. You can just lay in them and get drunk and hang out, whatever you want. You know, even if you're in the shelter. And I was here before I know the God Prince and building with him and everything like this here. But even if I'm in shelter, I'm on Wars Island somewhere and I'm coming here building every day, doing this and that. I'm not really.
You got to build where you at out there.
Huh?
You got to build where you at out there.
Yeah, I had to, you know, get myself established and stuff like this there. So, you know, but, you know, and in fact, it's like, you know, the master law nation, God, it's like, crazy that I fell off, you know, to the math, but I'm not like embarrassed to let that deter me and all that because I know I'm around family and I know, you know, they like back in the days where, you know, they, oh, well, you know, lost your man, get out of here, this, that, and the, because I'm coming, you know, right. They ain't like I'm doped out, I ain't smoked out, and none of that kind of thing.
Like I
So
say, you know,
I'm gonna get my stuff back.
yeah, right now, yeah, it's just due time.
Right.
But who's that? King Me that asked this question. You know, why? Look, I've never agreed with that either. King Me. Why being a question asked by the 85%?
Why is the question asked by the 85%?
Yeah, no, I never agree with that because that would tend to disagree with the born degree and the knowledge out of cipher degree in the 140.
All right.
That's what it's telling you. They don't ask why. They believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, my build on that is that a lot of 85%, even though they believe in that mystery God, they are very inquisitive. They want to know. Most 85% are curious. They just how you call that? Damn, I can't put another word to it. I'm trying to think, but like shy, timid. You know, like they, you know, why are they doing it? But they don't know how to come out and ask and speak. But once you begin to trying to bring them home or tell them the knowledge itself, some will accept and some will reject. You're right and exact. Some still gonna believe in that mystery though, you know. But some is going to motivate and activate their brain cells to, you know, try to come home.
But see, that's not characteristic of the 85%.
Oh, now you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see, because you know the 85% is somebody who is satisfied with they like the devil because the devil gives them nothing.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? So they're already satisfied that the reason that it rains is because God is upset. You know what I'm saying?
Meteorologists.
They're satisfied that the various reasons why various things happen is because God is in the sky. So, you know, now they're not going to ask why, because if they did, right, then they would also have to ask why, you know, this concept of God fails them at certain times.
Well, you know, well, it did too, God. I mean, when you out there, you know, building God, it's like, you know, I say my attribute is Darkim Be Allah. My positive state of being here is born law and order to those of state of a mental state of power. You know, they like lost. So, and in order to like bring them home or bring them back, it's like, damn, you can't like just, you know, I would say you just can't give up on them totally because I understand in my particular time, I was in that particular state, you know, and I didn't know why I was in that particular state, you know. Really, I had an advantage because I grew up in OI, but most of my friends or brothers around me that got into the knowledge itself, they was even worse off. I'm talking about they was eating it hard, full blast, they was going wild. And so they only wanted to live like that because they had the wrong knowledge. He liked the devil because the devil gives him nothing. Now, I agree with your concept to a certain extent because like if a person smokes cigarettes or something like that, there have been many advertising commercials, many things people trying to say, you know, stop smoking, smoking to do this, smoking to do that. And some people were just satisfied with it. You're not gonna get the 100%. You know, they just satisfied with it because they, in my understanding, they fell victim to the 10%. The 10% is the rich slave makers, the bloodsuckers of the poor. So the 10% is like giving them commercials and giving them this and giving them, and they just weak mind and dealing in slow gases, they can't break that cycle of the 10%, you know, to really, you know, come home. Because it's like, yeah, even in this day and time, you're right. They like the devil because the devil gives them nothing. Like I was building with my physical sister, and I was telling her about, she was talking about how people say that the chitlins and hog maws and all this type of thing is like a dish we should be proud and we should celebrate that because even though they gave us nothing, gave us garbage and intestines and all that kind of thing, we found a way to make a meal out of it, to make it, you know, put spices to it and work. But my explanation to her is, all right, you might have been eating chitlins back in the slave days, people might have doing that, but once you realize what's going on and you have the ability to eat a better diet, have a better diet, why would you continue to still eat chitlins?
Because that's who they are.
Yeah, or the glorified. You know what I mean? Not her specifically, she don't eat chitlins, but I'm just saying in the discussion part, why would a person continue to do that type of thing?
Because that's who they are.
Yeah, indeed. Until somebody, you know, somebody got in the state of triple darkness, God. Nobody bringing them home. You know, somebody.
See, here's the thing, right?
Go ahead.
The knowledge can only bring the righteous out of a person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's why some people get the knowledge and it don't make no change in them. You see what I'm saying? If they only doing these things because they caught up, then when they get knowledge of self, those things is going to change.
Yeah, it did.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But some people is doing those things because it's them. There's some things that people just naturally have in them, right? Like, look, when I first got the knowledge, nobody told me that we were supposed to be teaching people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I got it, I was teaching people.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? And that's why I think nobody told me because they figured I knew. But but just saying that was just naturally, you know what I'm saying? If I was on to something, right, and I could see that it was good, then I wanted to put my friends on.
Right. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's peace.
So,
right.
You know, naturally, you know, naturally, that's what I'm gonna do. You understand what I mean? Some people is just weak naturally. They're weak and they're not gonna be able to uphold no principles and standards. So they'll do things like that. They'll try to make believe that this thing that they doing is actually the principal thing. You understand what I mean? So now you celebrating Black history by eating chitlins. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to try to change the standard to that. You know what I mean? Even though you know that, look, beyond any type of thing, when you talk about Islam, you know that is killing you. Right? You know it's killing you. You got 10 pills you got to take every hour. Right? But look, you would rather take the pills and keep celebrating Black history. You understand what I'm saying? You know, that type of thing, you know, we gotta keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Look, when we telling people things, you see what I'm saying? Because look, sometimes you're right. Like look, you know, one thing Prince used to say, right, is that see, the sun is 93 million miles away, right? So it takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds for the light to reach the planet, right? You know, and then you got different planets. He can tell you how long it takes light to reach all 9 planets, right? He had it on cap. And that's where he used to say that, look, you know, everybody's not even on the planet Earth with us. But even if they are, when you manifest something, it takes some time to register.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I mean? It takes some time for that light to hit them. You see what I mean? So yeah, you got people like that, right? That, you know, you build with them and it takes some time for the changes to start occurring. It takes some time for the light to really reach them. You understand what I mean?
Indeed.
But there's some people that the light can shine all over them, and it's not gonna make a difference. The only thing it's gonna do is reveal. It's just going to reveal
you right.
the type of negativity that they have in them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because, you know what, God, you're right, exact, because knowledge is the know. And if you don't know, your brain won't grow. And knowledge is also to know the ledge so you don't fall off the edge. Now, and in order to do that, God, an individual have to at least have some semi-balance. You know, I don't, you know, sometimes when in my years of building and teaching, is that some people like how they used to say that they elevator don't go up to the top floor. So in order to be a good teacher, everybody, how can I say this? Everybody is not a good teacher. Everybody want to teach, everybody profess to teach, but everybody don't study teaching and how to teach different people with different things like they said. It's easy to teach a person that, you know, like say if it was a friend of mine or yours, and you say, yo, girl, man, this thing's messed up, man. You see, you know how I was living before. And they, you know, they a friend, they bear witness to that. They see how you changed. And they watching you. Mm-hmm. Because they want to know if you just infatuated. They want to know if you're going to change back to the old self. So they going to test you. They going to try to, you know, give you pork. They going to try to give you smoke, cigarettes, or whatever, you know, to do. But once they understand that, wow, this person changed, his life is being better, he got family now, he's more conscious, then they'll change. But now if you go to a person that you just met, like, you know, in the street or whatever, they just see you every day, and they see the flag and all this type of thing, and they timid. They want to come up to you and build with you, but you know how it was back in the day. They don't want you yelling at them and tell them to get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here, you crackhead, don't come near me. You know what I mean? So that type of thing, God.
It depends, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because for some people, you hear the sound and you see the light, mm-hmm. and you know that it's you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And then, you know, it's not really a choice, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just one of the things where it's knowing better and doing better.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's you know, anything, you know, if you know, you learn how to tie your shoe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, now you're gonna be tying your own shoes. You know, you can move around a little bit more like you want to and all of that. Yes, sir. Because you can do your thing. Like, you know, once you know how to do that, you realize that this is something that I want to do. I want to put my shoes on and go outside. You know what I'm saying? In my own time. You know what I'm saying? This is me. You understand what I'm saying? Or, you know, you taste different flavors of ice cream, and then you taste one where you know this one right here is vibrating on my frequency. I like this one.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you know, it's not a preference, you know, to be this, you know what I'm saying? It's not something, you know, when you gotta convince somebody, I don't think they're gonna make it.
You don't think they're gonna make it?
Nah, you gotta.
But the devil, God, is always propounded. He said, why do you like the devil? Because the devil gives him nothing. And why do you like the devil? Because the devil taught him how to eat the wrong food. So, you know, you gotta calculate, damn, what is the wrong foods?
You see, we also got, they search for trillions of years.
Yeah.
And you got some people that's gonna search for trillions more.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
So, who is that mystery God? There's no mystery God. The Son of Man is searching for that mystery God for trillions of years, and they was unable to find the so-called mystery God. So we have to agree that there is no
God but the Son of Man.
But the Son of Man wasted no more time searching for that does not exist. So
Yeah.
if you
And sometimes
they still searching. Yeah.
that means that person. You understand what I'm saying? Like you searching for the true and living God in them, but it's saying that it's not in them.
Yeah, well, that's
You see what I'm saying? Is because, like I said, the righteousness is something that you gotta bring out of the person. It's not really something that you know you can't make a person righteous. Like how you gonna do
Yeah,
it?
you right.
Like you
You
can't
right,
put
bro.
them under a penalty. You can't beat them up and
Nah,
make them
you right,
righteous.
bro.
You can't say, yo, if you don't be righteous,
Because a person,
I'm gonna do this to you or that to
that
you.
still ain't gonna do
You
that.
know what I'm
Because it's a personal choice. It's an inner.
Yeah,
You right,
that
exact, bro.
transformation,
Yeah.
a person
Because,
can use the mathematics,
right, because
right, to transform themselves, but that's something
that
that they
only
got
they
to
can do.
that's separate from them just learning those words off of the paper.
That's true, bro. That's right and exact. Because I mean, a lot of Muslims or whatever they say, there's no compulsion in religion. You can't make a person do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like take an example of myself. It's like only one could have brought me back to the school. It's myself. If I'd have been like, oh wow, man, I want to go back, but I fell off, man. The gods, man. Cause I mean, back in the day, it was fire. Yo, where you been, man? Where you God? What the hell you mean? You don't know mathematics and this, that, and you slow gas and it whatnot like this here. But and admitting the truth. Cause I had to, humble. I said, yeah, man, I don't know, man, what's going on, man. Only one will do this. I gotta go to the gods. And that's why a lot of individuals, even with the showing proofs and coming to the school, they stay away because they know they're like, damn, I fell off, the light ain't hit me, but I used to do this, and I used to do that, now I'm just wilding out. And
Yeah,
they so nervous they didn't want to come home, they just
yeah, but see, to a certain
them
degree,
type
they
of people,
full of
yeah.
shit though too, G.
Yeah, they full of shit,
Because
yeah.
it's like, you know the steps. You understand what I'm saying? And it ain't no shortcut.
Ain't no shortcut.
It ain't like, yo, you gonna go into the corner store and something is gonna change, and then you're gonna be able to come back to the ride.
That's right.
The same way you drew it up the first time,
That's right.
ain't nothing changed.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
You don't want to go into all that rock and water.
People, I don't want to go back because of this and because of that. If that thing is some separate entity.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you not knowing your lessons, like that's something that somebody did to you. Nah, it's you.
That's right. That's
you see what I mean? So if you wanted to be on point, you would, but it's fun doing that stuff that you're doing. So like I said, you make an excuse and make that the new standard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, this is the reason I'm not doing it, as if it's valid.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So, it's just one of the things where, that's a big part of it.
Yeah,
Is that it's more difficult to remain civilized than to become civilized.
Mm.
See, a lot of times we excited to become civilized.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? But remaining civilized is see, like me, look, I just came up, speaking of that, right? I just came up with a new way, right? A new strategy to remain civilized, right? Because, things happen, right? And they test us, because like you said, we have knowledge of being uncivilized too. So sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we're civilized.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you're right, that part never leave.
Yeah.
Right.
But see, look, I got a granddaughter, right? And she's reached the age now where she be watching YouTube. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now she watches, she got some videos where they play around with clay and stuff. Right? But imagine if one day she just said, I heard that my granddaddy be on YouTube. I heard he be on YouTube, right? He got some type of show on it, right? And she was to tune in, right? And see me being a jackass arguing back and forth with somebody or something, see?
Right.
You see what I mean? Well, one of her friends say, look, ain't this that man that be coming to pick you up? And I'm on there wasting time. You see what I'm saying? So, that's, you know, I can keep that in mind. I can keep that in mind now. I just came up with that about 2 days ago.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
But
I can keep that in mind now.
Yeah.
And then maybe that'll.
Yeah, but that's right too, cause you know I got family too. I got grandchildren. You know, I got my grandson Rashid. You know, they don't live in now. Why they live out in Texas and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But you right and exact because it's like I don't want my grandson or my family or my nieces to think that I'm like an asshole, like on YouTube going wild doing the program. Even though at this particular time, because they're the younger generation, and a lot of people they don't they claim like we don't see the girls no more because we ain't on the corners and in the parks and drinking old gold and acting crazy like we used to do and all that kind of thing. So they like, well, we are they don't exist or what are they doing or this and that. They're curious or when they see the flag or when they see you building, it's like, wow, I didn't know you guys are still around building like that. You know what I mean? And that's the part that I don't want to become like, yo, he used to build. And he just like went all the way to the other side.
Knowledge is infinite, man.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? They continue daily, we gotta continue daily.
You gotta continue daily, because the devil don't stop. He's gonna continue to implement his program and unrighteousness and all that type of thing. And we gotta come up, continue to build righteously because the nation, man, and even the 120, man, is like. It's like the foundation, like you said, it never changed. It may morph into different things from different generations. Like the younger people, they got different ideals and things that I had when I was younger. But the foundation, I think that my understanding of Allah and making us so successful gave us the foundation. We had such a strong foundation individually that nobody could really try to take it away or change a constitution or a concept. This is the leader of the 5%. This is this here. This is the leader. It's none of that. You know what I mean? But yeah, you right exactly. Right there to a large degree. But it's always continue building, and it's difficult. You gotta put your mind to it. You gotta continue, because it's always in the atmosphere dealing with the devil, negativity and all that. He's going to continue to find ways to try to change stuff up and break, do something different. Like Donald Trump with this 2025 bull crap. It's not like we ain't saw it before, you know what I mean? But he just, in fact, in a lot of senses, he's living out that devilish mentality, but he's making the people wake up and realize, yo, you under the fire now. Now it's, you got to do this, do that. They shook now, thinking about no more of this or that. But you got to get strong. Get strong and get destroyed. If you build or you destroy.
Mm-hmm.
That's real, bro.
All right, so I'm gonna finish the live stream here. You know what I'm saying? But just this morning when they come by, I'm surprised they're not here now. They should be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta, I'm gonna continue to come by and build, but that's what it is, man. And you get caught up in the ways of the world and also bull crap, and then come home, build. That's what happened. I don't nobody fault that on, but myself, you got to build and destroy. That's what it's about. You build and destroy. Peace, bro.
Peace. hate, man, I guess everybody would hate this, right? When you give, you saying something, you advocating something, and then you fall a victim. I gotta tell you, look here. When I catch up to a law of mathematics, I am going to bomb every brain cell he got for sending this ancient mummy in my class to ruin it. What the hell you say him here for? Wait until I catch up to a law of mathematics. What's wrong with these people? I think I remember what I was talking about. I was talking about how, when an individual reveals himself, right? It's Kasim. Which Kasim? See, but when an individual reveals himself, right? I think I was saying this, right? That I was watching these nature programs. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Right? I was watching a nature program, right? And it had these animals on it. Prairie dogs. Right? They had these prairie dogs, right? And so a snake tried to ease up on them. And one of the prairie dogs detected the snake and gave the signal. And so when he gave the signal, they all just stopped and looked at him. Like everybody that was doing everything, they was foraging for food, building a nest. The young that was playing, they all just stopped and just looked at him. They didn't make no noise. They didn't, oh man, get out of here, man. Kasim is free, man. That's the Kasim. This is Kasim. Remember Kasim that got the presidential pardon? I know two people that got it. Matter of fact, I think it was 3 people. I can think of 2 off the top of my head. Him and his son brother. What's the deal, Kass? How I feel? Look, Kass, how does AI here feel, man? How does AI here feel, man? But look, let me finish my story, right? So, peace. All of the prairie dogs, they just turned around and just looked at the snake. They just looked at him. They didn't make no noise. They didn't chase him. They just looked at him. And once the snake knew he was revealed, he slinked his ass right up out of there. See, that's how you let them die in their iniquity, because they don't eat food. They just feed off of us. So see, once the snake has been revealed, let them go their way. Let them go their way. See, that's why you don't fall a victim. That's why you don't fall a victim, man, because you it's been revealed to you. That's why we let them do their thing, man. How people want to live their life, that's freedom too. See, like I said, we're not dealing with the hadith. People living their life, they living their life. We don't have, there's no infidels. There's no heathens to the 5%. There's people that live in a way that we don't live. and we deal in equality with all people. Let me see if I don't know what y'all was, I gotta catch back up, this guy. Hey, y'all need to stop with all that firstborn stuff. Like, does anybody want me to show y'all? I can show y'all firstborn right now. y'all want to see firstborn? Type 1 in the box if you want to see firstborn. Oh yeah, what's the hour? Yeah, I gotta be out at 6 o'clock. But type 1 in the box. If we get enough people, if we get enough people that want to see firstborn, I'll show y'all firstborn right now. See, we only got 3 people. I don't know if we get a couple more ones, in the box, and I'll show y'all firstborn. Now, I ain't gonna show y'all a picture. See, look, because Kasim type 1 in the box, right? This is a coming home present. I'm gonna show y'all firstborn. Give me 1 second. Okay, today's supreme mathematics is wisdom equality, all being born and ability destroyed. I'm the first person to quote supreme mathematics on the live stream with a helmet on at a law school in Mecca. So from now on, I'm firstborn Darkim. You see that? See, Pete, look. Pete always knew I was going to finesse it. He always knew I was going to finesse it. That's what he used to say, like, God, you. So now, from now on, don't nobody disrespect me and not call me firstborn Darkim. All right? So just hold on for a second. Let me, because this is over now. I'm already firstborn. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. You know what I mean? But y'all just know that I need to be respected on that level. You think somebody can challenge that claim? Where they at? Listen, the history happened on audio and videotapes, huh? Happened on audio and videotape. Can't dispute the truth. But yeah, we got any last questions? Because, the brothers already told us we only got about 20 minutes left before I gotta move to another phase of the day. Another phase of accomplishing things. What you say? Man, listen, man. All that stuff is over, man. See, look. When you got the knowledge, right, there were some people that had it when you got it, right? And then some people that you was here when they got it. See, let me say something that's key. So we all got the power. See, that's why this survive, and see, this is what I'm saying. This is why you can't hold the wisdom over people's heads. See, everybody got the power to go out there and build or destroy. On every level, from building or destroying your own self, right? Some people destroy their own self. Some people build themselves up. To, every level of people around you. Family, community, whatever, all the way to the planet. So people looking for that, what that's going to do, that's going to give them some other power. We'll see what happens, being our firstborn Darkim now. Being our firstborn Darkim now, look, somebody asked me in 30 days. In 30 days, ask me, and I'm going to tell you if it makes a difference since I've been firstborn. Or look, maybe y'all tell me, right, if the levels of the classes raised up since I'm firstborn then. What's my take on freedom after 40 or more? I don't know that I have a take on it. What is... Nah, boy, it's not me, it's these people. It's not me. That's what I was trying to tell people for decades, man. Yeah, but is there something specific that you saying about it? Culture or freedom at 40 or more. That's how some people got their mind. Some people got refinement if it's 50 or more. universal rules and acting. I don't need no rules. So righteous, I just freestyle righteousness. So the same people saying power and refinement, saying culture, no freedom, and that freedom only applies after 40. I mean, at the end of the day, that's still saying culture or freedom. They see, sometimes, this is what I'm saying, this is when it becomes hadith, right? When you're caught up in a person repeating what you said. But if you say that, listen, when you say, listen, you say culture or freedom if it's 40 or more. You just said it, but because the hadith wasn't recited, right? Because the hadith wasn't recited, it can't register for you. Like, look, that's how those brothers got their lessons. See, that's where things start turning. That's where things start turning. When you stop realizing that we don't have hadith. Right? We got culture, right? We got a culture where everybody wasn't identical. The knowledge and wisdom that everybody received, a lot of people, they received the knowledge and wisdom that they needed, or a lot of people absorbed, right? A lot of people absorbed, what knowledge that was the best part for them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things, depending on the time, when a person met Allah, right? They might have heard this, in 1965, right? And they might have heard this in 1968, right? You might have came into the knowledge and had a Muslim name, one day, and then, on another day, brothers is telling you, yeah, that's no good. You got to change that. You see what I'm saying? But it's this idea that, people is lying. That these is all things that, came in, at some later date. No, that's when you heard it. See, that's what I was talking about earlier, that's what that is. That's hadith. When you're trying to force everybody to see the same thing, as if everybody has your same perspective on everything, has your same experience with everything, has your same background with everything, same background that you bring into the experience. You understand what I'm saying? But in reality, a seed, right? It's gonna produce like kind. You're not gonna have an apple seed, right? And then an orange grows on that tree, unless something, you can graft with fruit. Don't nobody come and tell me about those exceptions, right? I'm talking about just the natural, this seed right here, right? That's in the same ground, that grows from the same root, right? is going to produce grapes of different sizes with different amounts of seeds in them. Some might be sweet, some might be more juicy. So this idea that, you're supposed to, when you see a modern field, right? When you look at a cornfield or a wheat field today and you see everything looking uniform, that's artificial. The name for that is monoculture farming. Because in reality, when you go outside, right, if you go into the forest or you go somewhere where they're not growing in straight rows like that. All of them ain't the same color. They're not the same sizes. Like when you go to the supermarket and you see all those cantaloupes the same size, that's because something artificial. What people is seeking, this knowledge wasn't born like that. Nobody went in a cave or, wherever and you had the whole thing dictated to you at one time and then you just went and recited it. This is something weird. Look, knowledge has been infinite from the very beginning. Meaning there's always been things to learn for everybody. Things we gotta learn and things we gotta put into activation, in order to elevate to the highest degree. That's always been the case for everybody. So now we down to the nitty gritty, y'all. Y'all got any last questions? Now is the time. Yeah, right. Yeah, religious wars. We can't be having religious wars. Wise Prince said you asked about your seat. What seat is that? On the wheel. I mean, you gotta send your money. That's $99.99. Cash App sign Fame Labs. Cash App sign Fame Labs. $99.99. Yeah, matter of fact, speaking of that, shout out to Marcus T and Sincere H. They sent some some big donations for the show proof. So when y'all there, and y'all eating food, I don't know if y'all know Sincere H and Marcus T, but say peace to the guys. So there's certain people who continue in daily to try and make this a religion, like Allah came with supreme mathematics on stone tablets out the sky. It said, don't change it. I mean, look, God, somebody's got to let it go. Like, that's the thing about peace, right? Is that, you know, in order for it to be peace, right, everybody's going to have to accept, you know what I'm saying? You know, is you can't say, well, look, let me get my last lick in, and then it can be peace. You can't. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, look, that's been happening, but we've got to let that die in its iniquity. We've got to let that die in its iniquity, man, because, you know, we don't got time. I mean, literally, you know, I got shit to do to say right now. Like the live stream got to be over because I got some other shit I got to do after that. Then I got some other shit I got to do after that. I didn't even eat yet. Like, come on, man. We got to keep our eyes on the prize. So you got to remember, that's those people's teachings. Those people that's bickering, that's their teachings. That's not a lot of teachings. Let them deal with their teachings. And they people, listen, man, whoever stand with them can land with them. Dead ass, y'all. Whoever stand with them can land with them. They just like every other thing, you know what I'm saying? When you on the highway, you driving your car, and some other people is driving their car. As long as you don't crash into me, I don't give a fuck where you going. See, a lot of times, that's what it is people don't realize that you cooperating with them by doing that. You gotta remember that. They came with a determined idea to cause confusion, and you came to be at peace, and you get in confusion with them, guess what? So, you know, look, I understand, God, I understand. And that's why I specifically said that me and brother agree. That, look, everybody's got to hear this. Stand down. Peace, man.
What's up, dog?
Hey. You got that.
What time y'all broke camp yesterday?
Probably about 30 minutes after y'all left.
Oh, I thought y'all was gonna camp out there all night.
Yo, what's up? You on the clap?
Yeah, I'm doing a live
That's ain't
stream.
good yet, huh?
But you got. Nah, we on the YouTube.
Oh, okay.
But you on it. You got something. You
I don't even fuck with it.
Oh man. But yeah, these are some of the brothers. Remember, I told y'all that we was maintaining last night. We was the two last people that left. That's what you just heard about right there. So you know, we was with the brothers, and look, we learned some stuff last night. See, me, that's how I look at life, though. You know what I mean? Not too many days. I can't really think, of the day that I could really be passing. I don't learn nothing. Or I don't draw something up, right? I don't draw something up from, the things that I've been learning. Yeah, definitely that. If you include that, right, between learning something and drawing something up from the things that I already learned, yeah, that happens every day.
Not really.
Yeah, so
Juicy though.
I'm still waiting to the end of June to start getting my fruit.
Local is better.
Yeah, that was you said, what's the science on brothers trying to do like the original man? What do you mean? How you mean? Like if they are brothers, right? I'm just saying, like, just the way I hear the question, right? If they are brothers, right? If they my brothers, I'm saying for the most part, I'm just, that's gonna most part be original me. So when you say they doing like the original man, I mean, I was waiting for the brother to respond to that, but I guess he. So we had another question here. Can a half original man be God? He said even if he has devil in him. See, the way I see it, half original people got a choice. Cause they got a black germ and a white germ. So now, what they going to do? See, because this is what I'm saying. Some half original people choose to destroy the black germ, right? They want to save the white germ and destroy the black germ. You understand what I'm saying? But if you got a half original person that they save the black germ and destroy the white germ, that's what they got the power to do. You said the king's son come to the rally. Does that come some kind of joke? God, y'all gotta stop believing these people. Listen, God, I'm a little bit old school, so I don't know who's the new people, right? But listen, Christopher Reeves can't really fly. Tom Cruise can't really fight. This stuff that you see on TV is not real. It's not, man. You stuff is not real. So wait, Jay said back, he said, okay, true, they tried to do like the original man. I'm not sure what that is. You said, well, Spencer, that has to be an everyday thing. It's not like a choice they can make one time. I mean, at the end of the day, everything is that. But you know, see, here's the difference. Here's the difference between this is you gotta realize about the Afro's movement. It may take them a while, right? But they can produce the original man. The colored man cannot produce, he cannot be the father of all civilization. Because he can't be the father of me. See, the half original man still got a black or a brown gene in his body. You know, I don't know, where do y'all find these questions though? This is, see, because, you know, that's not, I don't want to be giving y'all no ammo. I don't want to be giving y'all no ammo to be used against your brothers. I don't know, you know, I just, you know, I don't want to be giving, y'all no ammo to be going into these various situations. But at any rate, that looks like our time ran. I guess it's approximately the equality hour. I got to go handle a detail, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, everybody that made it this far, do the Each One Teach One, hit the like button. You know, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification button so you can know when we come in. You know what I'm saying? You know, we came here today to broadcast from headquarters. You know how we do. You know what I'm saying? We got a couple visitors and all of that. You know, but you know, it was just you know, I felt that this was appropriate. That we come down to headquarters, right, to a law school in Mecca, right here at 2122 7th Avenue, you know, to make knowledge born. So in the in-between time, I'm gonna sign off and say peace. Y'all know how we do. We back on here tomorrow, and sign out.